Alright, I think we've got our bearings now. Let's take a look around here. It seems like we're at a slightly lower elevation than where we first started when we first arrived, which I think is around that area. So we've got a little less sunlight over here, but thankfully we're not low on other natural light sources, so that's always comforting. Let's go deeper. Seems like the climate is a little bit different here, probably because of the different sunlight amounts and other factors too. We got a little stingray here. Looks like he's having a fun time feeding off those plants and giving them a little jolt. Keep on doing your thing, man. Well, this is interesting. The basin that he's in is connected to this root, or whatever this thing is, that's all twisty. But the path continues this way. Some nice pretty purple lichen over there. And we can see some tall blue structure there in the distance, but unfortunately the way to it is blocked by this giant boulder. But hey, we see what the route leads to. It's this little pod. Well, I hope that wasn't hazardous to that stingray's health, being sucked through there like that. But thankfully all the water came down with him, though I'm kinda sad he doesn't have the plants down here to feed on. He's just swimming in a circle. Let's go back up and take a look at that basin again. Did we really just suck all the water out of that thing? Because if so, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing in there right now. Well, hopefully we can find that stingray a new home. Because it looks like this root thing goes down even further. Aha, what do we have here? Journal pages. Let's read them. I have desecrated the poem he placed in the columns. I could no longer stand to see Narayan's artistry in his worlds. I think I can do something with sap to cover the second one, but I'm not sure what to do about the island. I don't know how to alter the current. Perhaps if I bring in some of the unusual floating stone from Amateria? Something about the molecular composition of the rock in that age causes it to attract and repel other stone quite forcefully. Maybe if I introduce some of it to the soil on the island, it'll interfere just enough to damage the last poem. I'll have to conduct some experiments. Well, it looks like Saavedra is a scientist as well, to some extent. But did he just leave this journal page here, or was this intentional? I'm inclined to think it was intentional. I mean, he's been pretty calculated about everything else. So I don't think this was an accident. He probably wanted Atris to find this just so that he can learn more about the plight that Saavedra has been going through. And to be honest, it's helpful for us as well, because we want to learn more about him and his motivations. Well, let's continue onward here. Whatever that plant is, it looks like it's a gigantic version of that leaf pillow that Saavedra had in his hammock. Whoa. What was that? Well, that didn't sound good. It sounded like the bird is in trouble. Hopefully she'll be alright. Well, we can't do anything that way, so let's go walk this way. This age can be kind of difficult to navigate, so please bear with me. I'm gonna probably make a lot of mistakes and let you guys hear that whooshing noise quite a bit. And speaking of which, it looks like there's another path up there, but we can't get up there. Maybe it's just because it's too steep. This place is really difficult to make out in terms of finding the path. But hey, now we can check out one of these gigantic leaf pillows up close. Whoa. Looks like it's super responsive to light, and as a result it just rolled right out like that. This thing is officially called a tongue fern, and it's not too hard to see why. Thankfully it supports our weight, which is pretty cool. And now we can get a look at that big blue thing up close. Oh hey, we can swing using it. I could try to do a Tarzan yell, but it wouldn't be very appropriate considering that we didn't really get anywhere with that, and that my voice is really too low for that anyway. This giant log here is blocking our path, so that's not cool. But it looks like we can go this direction. And hey, this looks rather foreign. I mean, everything on this age has been natural so far, but this structure here looks distinctly man-made. So what is this all about? Okay, well that raises it up. And we can't use that to lower it down, but we can do something with this. Oh. Well, it's not too hard to see what this contraption is. It looks like it's a trap. Though we don't really know for what. Can we bait it? There's fruit here. Yeah, there we go. Alright, let's trap ourselves something. Well, it's not going to come out while we're standing here, probably, so let's get away from that. Oh, so that's what that was for. That makes sense. I guess we wouldn't have really been able to get back anyway, since the swing vine was in the center area. Ah, it's a squee! And we've got a mechanism here that we can operate from this side. Alright, so we've trapped the squee. Great, so what now? Well, what are we even doing here in the first place? Let's think about this logically. We want to get to the other side, right? But this log is blocking our way. However, look at what's on the log. We got some of those watermelon-shaped fruits that we saw back in Jinanen. And you might recall from there that whenever the squee chirped near them, they grew more and more, and they were able to affect the area around them to a certain extent. At least enough for us to cross to that tusk. Maybe if these ones grew larger, they might even break this log. I mean, it looks pretty old anyway. So, let's see if we can get the squee over there now that he's trapped. Aww. I hate hearing him cry like that. It's so sad. Sorry, little guy. I'll let you go. Alright, let's go ahead and get him to go. Oh. Well, I guess that makes sense that he would just run away after we just trapped him like that. I mean, how would we have been able to get him over there using this method anyway? Well, maybe we just need to coerce him a little bit, you know? Not use the trap, but, you know, just kind of scare him a little bit. So let's put the bait out again, but this time I'm not going to use the trap. This time I'm going to swing over here and just kind of push him in a different direction. Alright, little guy. Man, he comes right out there again, even though that's the exact same spot where he was trapped. Alright. Here's JB. Oh. Well, we scared him, but he went back into his hidey hole here. So that didn't work out too well, did it? Alright, so scaring him doesn't work, and trapping him doesn't work. But maybe it's the way we're doing this that's off-kilter here, and it's not really working too well. Because notice that he's always going back into his hidey hole anytime that he's scared, and we don't really want him to go there, we want him to go to the log. So how can we prevent him from going back into the hidey hole? Okay. when we have the trap down there, it looks like it blocks access to the hidey hole. So, as long as we can get him out here and still scare him, then we can make him go over to the log while the trap is down. So let me try baiting everything again, but this time, hopefully maybe we can put this fruit somewhere else. There we go. Okay, we can just roll it down a little further. And that just puts it back to its original spot. But I want to leave it over here. So now, if we lower the trap down while he's eating over this way, then he should be able to run somewhere different, and hopefully for the log. Of course he's not going to come out while we're over here, so we're just going to have to control the trap from the other side. Hopefully third time will be the charm, right? Alright. Fingers crossed. There we go. Perfect. And thankfully the squeeze survived too. I guess that was kind of a risky move doing it that way, wasn't it? And now we can slide across uninhibited. Well, swing across more so. And over here we can get a closer view of this other tongue leaf thing. This was the one that we saw earlier, but we can only get to from the other side. But now we can get back to the Jananen book if we need to use it, should we ever get stuck. But I'm going to keep on going. And descend even deeper into the woods. What is that? I hear a noise. There's something in there. I saw something move. It's a bird! The bird is trapped in that giant plant. You know, this plant looks a lot like that really humongous one in Savidro, or that really small one in Savidro's laboratory. It's just a really humongous version of it. So we know these things can be opened by electricity, but we don't have any here with us to free this bird. That's a bummer. Well, we're just going to have to keep on exploring and hopefully find a way to rescue her. Like I said, it's kind of hard to find our way around this place. But it looks like we're managing. We got a little view of the ocean here. It kind of reminds me of the jungle from Riven. Oh hey, this looks familiar. What have we got here? Somebody's painted something. Well, we've got a pod here, and we know what happens when we press the button here, so maybe we can cast a little light on this situation. There we go. Someone was here recently, too. Well, let's take a look at this here. There's a bunch of people gathered around, while two men over here hold books up in the air. And judging from the outlines here on this part of the book, on the right side, I can only assume that these are linking books. Well, it's not too hard to deduce what this is all about and who painted it. Most likely, Savidro painted this for Atris. And these two men over here are Cirrus and Agonar, when they came back and pillaged Orion. Although it looks like they're not exactly pillaging it, they're talking to the people.